Okay, so for this one, we were supposed to graph these and then determine if it's dependent, which means it's the same line, or inconsistent, which would mean it was parallel lines. So these equations are what's called standard form. The x and y is on one side, and then there's a constant on the other. So from there, there's kind of two different ways we can go. First, let me show you intercepts. So if we just found the intercepts, and that's going to work great for this first one. If x is 0, so let that x equal 0, and then this piece drops out, and you just have y equals 2. So when x is 0, y is 2. And next I'll do when y is 0. So if y was 0, this piece right here would drop out, and I would have 2x equals 2, which means x would equal 1, because I would divide the 2 on both sides. Okay, so that's cool. That got us a couple of points. Another way I could do the same one is I could isolate that y, and I think that's actually what you're referencing in your message. And to do that, I think it's easier than probably what you're making it. Just subtract the 2x on both sides, and you get y equals negative 2x plus 2. So that would just be going minus 2x minus 2x. And then from there, you can use that intercept and that slope to graph it. Or if you don't love that, make a t-table like this and pick a couple of easy values for x. When x is 0, negative 2 times 0 is 0, plus 2 would make 2. There's the same one we got up here. And then pick x is 1 because it's easy. And then actually happen to be the next one right here. So when x is 1, negative 2 plus 2 makes 0. So I ended up with the exact same table. It's just whether or not I wanted to rearrange the equation. For this one, I'll do intercepts first, and either way I think this one's going to have a fraction in it no matter what we do, so that just is kind of what it is. If I let this x equal 0, then this would be 0 plus 2y equals 6, or 2y equals 6, and then we divide that 2 over, because this was 0 right there, and we get y equals 3. Okay, so far so good, but then when I go and do the y is 0, this piece would drop out, and then I would have 4x equals 6. And then dividing the 4 on both sides, I get x equals, reducing that would be 2 times 3 and 2 times 2. Drop those 2's out of there, and 3 halves, or 1.5. Either way. And so that would be my intercepts, so I could graph that. Or if I brought this down here, I'm going to erase that piece just to give myself a little bit more room to write. And you can rewind and check that out if you want to go back to it. Let me rewrite this here and then show the steps for getting that y by itself. So I'm going to subtract the 4x on both sides, because when we're isolating the variable, we kind of do, minus reverse order of operations. So we do our add or subtract first, our multiply divide second. So that cancels out. Now we got it down to 2y equals, I'm going to write that negative 4x first, just kind of m x plus b is what I'm shooting for. And then, this actually works out great. So then here, I'm going to get that 2 out of there, which means I have to divide everything by 2, and that would get me y equals negative 2x plus 3. So that actually is going to be a lot nicer than this point right here. So let me make another t-table, and if we go x equals 0, great, y equals 3, that's what we got last time right there. And here, instead of having to do this 1.5, I'm just going to go when x equals 1, and then negative 2 times 1 would be negative 2 plus 3 makes 1. And so then I get 1, 1. So if I come over here and try to graph these then, for this first one, when x is 0, y was 2. Oops, are we there? I'm not sure it's going to let me because I think I'm on the form, so it won't let me. Anyhow, so when x is 0, y is 2 would be right there. And then when x is 1, y is 0. So that would have a slope of negative 2 and crossing through 2 right there. And then this one's going to have that same slope, which makes sense because, right, they have to be parallel. And it's just going to be one box up. It's going to start at 3 and it's going to go over 1 and down 2. So there's 2 ways to get there. In this case, I think solving for that y was easier. That said, if all the numbers are divisible, finding the intercepts isn't so bad either. On this one where it wasn't divisible, I think solving actually got the easier solution. So there's a couple of choices. If this is more comfortable, then just do that. And that said, do make sure you can find intercepts in the event that the question asks for specifically find the intercepts. So I guess that's where this would still have some value.